Hello and welcome to another MAR review. Now, before I start, I want to give big thanks to my brother for letting me review this little Armory reconnaissance motorcycle, Kawasaki KLX250. He found himself interested in a nicheness that is anime girls with guns, so he ordered this little Armory motorcycle and this M24 sniper rifle kit. For those of you unfamiliar with Little Armory, they're a series of 1/12 scale model kits that, as the name suggests, are all firearms related. Handguns, shotguns, assault rifles, miniguns, gun racks, guns, shooting ranges, and, as you're about to see, motorcycles. They're a little pricey, but the amount of customization options presented makes them fairly priced in my opinion. The presentation here is nice. It's a very crisp and straightforward box design. Now let's open it up. As you can see, this vehicle needs no assembly. This, I found, was a pleasant surprise. I do enjoy building model kits when I can find the time, but my skills are nowhere near the pro gunpla skills that I wish I had. I haven't even painted anything yet. I just end up ruining this masterpiece. My brother too, I bet. The only real accessory that this giant accessory comes with is the small clear wheel stand. It helps to prop up the moderately sized cycle to make it look like any figure riding it is, well, you know, riding it. Packaged in the box is this unique backdrop. Unique because you can cut and create a small wedge ramp, complete with duckies. There's even a separate group of duckies that you can cut out. Not sure what they're for though. Maybe they're targets for a shooting range? Also hidden away behind the backdrop are these cards. But I guess you can consider them instructions, even if they do just regurgitate what's already on the box. The two cards aren't even unique from one another either. They're exactly the same, as in, they're both Japanese, and they both don't have any English on them. What a weird waste of cardboard this was. If anyone knows why there are two of these, please tell me in the comments. Anyway, let's move on. At least the motorcycle is good. I may not know much about motorcycles, but I know a good 1/12 scale rendition of one when I see it. The color scheme is very much militaristic, dark green and black. This thing is so fun to hold up and look at because of all the wonderful little details, whether it's the mechanics in the engine or the soft plastic used for the brake wire, the tininess in the detailed decals, or the scale and accuracy of the suspension spring. With this much detail in the sculpt and paint, you don't have to be a motorcycle enthusiast to fully appreciate them. There's even a modestly sized rack at the back of the bike, most likely for weapons and such. But don't be fooled, my OCD senses are tingling. That's the sound of my OCD senses. They're telling me that not everything on this plastic motorcycle is as perfect as it might seem at first. As you might have already noticed, the colors are fairly flat. If you look here, we can see that these sets of rivets up here are painted silver, but the ones below aren't. The license plate at the back is also ridiculously flat, while the dash is empty and gray. The front fender has this weirdly empty white flower design thingy on the tip. Various promo images assure me that it's supposed to be flat like this, but what is it a symbol for? I have no idea. Underneath the fenders are some more odd blunders. You'll see many of the connecting pieces which remind you of the whole "we specialize in model kits" vibe, which I think summarizes the overall feel of this vehicle. It's solid enough to shake, but flimsy enough for you to be cautious. As for the articulation, this cycle's got some. Of course, we have some lovely steering action with the front tire. And as I mentioned before, the back tire has some wonderfully springy suspension action. It's quite nice and sturdy for its scale. There isn't any suspension on the front tire though. We, of course, get a kickstand that holds the bike up, with the rider or not. Ugh, just look at that out-of-scale screw. Yet another small blemish to add to the OCD pile. Putting figures on this bike isn't much of a challenge. It all depends on the size of the figure and whether or not they already have the appropriate hands to grip the handles. So after playing around with this motorcycle that I had no intention of buying, would I get one for myself? Well, like I said, you really don't have to be a motorcycle enthusiast to enjoy this thing. I know I complain about the lack of paint apps and some of the undercarriage plastic, but I'm just being a Stanley stickler. Don't forget that these are from people who specialize in model kits. Things that don't usually have paint and instead are full of sculpting detail. I'm sure you can use any model kit skills you have to further improve this vehicle. I know it's not ideal, but at least you have the option. If you like motorcycles and want to share your love with them with your figures, then get online and order one for yourself. As for me, I don't really have any use or the room for what's essentially an oversized accessory. Thanks again to my brother for letting me review this beautiful piece of plastic, and thanks for you for watching. I hope you found this review to be helpful. This is Toy Boy Mari, signing off.